a engañar. Así
¿Vas a jugar Roland Garros?
Bueno, cuidado. Vamos ahí con calma, con calma, chicos, que esto se puede caer, Esto se puede caer. Bueno, Madrid por supuesto que no, y ojalá que bueno, podamos estar lo antes posible.
Oye, Carlos, ¿cómo describirías estos meses desde el cambio con Samuel López?
Bueno, de momento muy bonitos. Han sido unos meses fantásticos de mucho trabajo, empezando el año, bueno, mi mejor comienzo de año hasta el momento de mi carrera. Luego, pues bueno, con cositas que hay que mejorar, pero al final es cuestión de tiempo de cogerlo, y de momento muy contento.
Carlos, si te llevas el premio, ¿a quién se lo dedicamos en el día de hoy? Si te lo llevaras, ¿a quién se lo dedicas?
Bueno, no se lo puedo dedicar a una persona en concreto. Yo creo que al final el tenis es un deporte, puede parecer individual, porque estamos solos en pista, pero hay una cantidad de gente detrás que se merecen el premio, como yo, incluso más que yo, ¿no? Yendo desde mi equipo, desde a mi familia y a mi gente.
Precisamente tu familia está aquí hoy contigo, han venido al completo, tu familia apoyándote siempre, Carlos.
Siempre, yo creo que la familia es lo más importante que tiene uno, y la verdad que para mí muy contento de que puedan estar conmigo en un momento tan importante y tan bonito en mi carrera y en mi vida.
Carlos, tranquiliza un poco a los fans. Un plazo, ¿cuándo lo vamos a ver?
Bueno, no puedo decir un plazo, porque al final el problema es que si das plazos fijos, luego puede ser antes, luego puede ser después, o sea que no.
Injuries have once again interrupted Carlos Alcaraz's path on clay, forcing him out of the Conde de Godó in the first round in Barcelona and leading him to withdraw from the Mutua Madrid Open, which could push him far away from the number 1 spot, now held by Jannik Sinner. Given the situation, tennis legend Boris Becker, who will attend the Laureus Awards in Madrid this Monday, has spoken about the reasons why Alcaraz gets injured more than Sinner and what the consequences of that might be. It's a shame for the tournament, Madrid, but it reminds me of last year, when Alcaraz couldn't play here in Madrid either and then went on to win Rome and Paris. So I wouldn't give too much importance to the injury. I'm still optimistic, he said. Becker is clear that Alcaraz is upset about missing the 2 Spanish events because he is a very proud Spanish player, so he wants to play in front of his fans. But injuries can happen. That's why I think he should carefully analyze his performance from last year, how to recover, and be ready for Rome. The German believes Alcaraz gets injured more than Sinner because he has a different style. I call Sinner Djokovic 2.0, with a similar style from the baseline, very consistent. He also wins his matches quickly. On the other hand, he pointed out that Alcaraz often loses a set and has to play for 3 hours. That takes a toll on his body. Sinner naturally saves energy, and I think in the long run, that is very beneficial. Carlos Alcaraz has started the clay swing with serious setbacks. Despite defending a good portion of his points against Sinner in the coming weeks, the Spaniard has suffered a wrist injury that is more serious than expected and will force him to miss some of the most important tournaments of the season. The world number 2 arrived in Barcelona with a warning. Although he had no physical discomfort, he did mention the number of matches he had been playing and those still ahead. Even so, Carlos decided to sign up for all the tournaments on the clay swing, something typical for him but which he has never fully completed for one reason or another. The wrist injury, more serious than expected. This time, the setback came early. After getting through the first round in Barcelona, the Spaniard began to feel discomfort in his wrist that initially would allow him to play his round of 16 match against Thomas Macaque. However, the injury turned out to be more serious than expected, and Carlos had no choice but to withdraw from the Catalan tournament prematurely, where he was defending his runner-up result. Just a few days later, amid great anticipation about how his physical issues were evolving, Carlos Alcaraz surprisingly announced his withdrawal from the Madrid Masters 1000 for the second consecutive year. The wrist injury suffered in Barcelona has proven to be more than just minor discomfort and will keep him out of the Madrid tournament, a key event in his attempt to regain the world number 1 ranking. Which matches he will miss? Alcaraz missed the ATP 500 in Barcelona, will miss the Madrid Masters 1000, and there are doubts about whether he will be present in Rome. The Italian tournament is the final step before Roland Garros, and at this moment it is not ruled out that the Spaniard may not arrive in time for the French Grand Slam. It would be terrible news for the world number 2 in terms of the ATP ranking, as he is defending the title in Paris and would give Sinner a clear path to close the gap. Alcaraz does not want to rush his return to the courts and prefers to wait and see how his wrist problems evolve, an unexpected setback that has disrupted his plans for this part of the season. The Italian and his team have decided to play the Mutua Madrid Open with the ambition of becoming the first tennis player in history to win 5 consecutive Masters 1000 titles. Jannik Sinner has seen a great opportunity to add another unprecedented achievement to his name. The multiple withdrawals from the Madrid tournament, led by Carlos Alcaraz, open up a huge opportunity for the Italian to win a title that is still missing from his resume. The idea was for him to take a long break between Monte Carlo and Rome, but after the good feelings following his first major clay title and the confirmed withdrawals from the Mutua Madrid Open, Jannik and his team have finally decided to play in the tournament. Already in Madrid since last night, Sinner will attend the Laureus Awards Gala, where he is nominated for Sportsman of the Year alongside Alcaraz. After that, the Italian will remain in the Spanish capital to try to achieve a historic milestone. After titles in Paris 2025, Indian Wells, Miami, and Monte Carlo, he now aims to become the first ever to win 5 consecutive Masters 1000 titles. In addition, Madrid is one of the 2 he is still missing in this category, along with Rome, to complete the full set. Thus, the world number 1 goes all in for a huge challenge, which would also secure his lead at the top for much longer than already expected. Pulling further away, if he wins the title, the 1,000 points would give him a nearly insurmountable lead over Alcaraz until after the clay swing and very likely into the grass season. While waiting to see whether Alcaraz's injury is serious enough to keep him out of Rome as well, Sinner once again shows his ambition to keep breaking records in tennis and now goes after a massive challenge. If he wins Madrid, the Italian would also assert his dominance this season on what has so far been his least preferred surface. Madrid, Rome, and Roland Garros are the major titles still missing from his trophy cabinet, and he does not seem willing to wait long to achieve them. Alcaraz withdraws from the Mutua Madrid Open due to his wrist injury. The world number 2, who aimed to regain the top spot from Jannik Sinner, sees his progress halted at a key moment in the season. A tough blow for Carlos Alcaraz, who has confirmed his absence from the Mutua Madrid Open after injuring his wrist at the Conde de Godó. The Spaniard thus suffers a second consecutive setback, withdrawal in Barcelona and absence in Madrid for the second straight year. There are pieces of news that are very hard to share. Madrid is home, one of the most special places on the calendar for me, and that's why it hurts so much not to be able to play here for the second year in a row, he said in a social media post. It hurts especially not to be there in front of my people, at such a special tournament, he concluded, thanking fans for their constant support. The injury, sustained during his debut against Otto Virtanen, turned out to be more serious than expected. I thought it wouldn't get worse. But it's a bit more serious than we expected, explained the player, who even had to receive treatment on court before finishing the match. A key moment. The world number 2, who aimed to regain the top spot from Jannik Sinner, sees his progress halted at a crucial moment in the season. Madrid, where he was champion in 2022 and 2023, will once again be without its local star. Now, the goal is to arrive in good condition for the Rome Masters 1000 and Roland Garros. His absence adds to that of Novak Djokovic, leaving the Madrid tournament without 2 of its biggest stars. The €1 million prize awaiting Alcaraz and Sinner, Roland Garros announces a historic prize pool increase of 9.5%. Double success for Jannik Sinner. This Sunday, the Italian was crowned champion of the Monte Carlo Masters 1000 after defeating Carlos Alcaraz in the final. A major boost in many ways, as the number 1 ranking was also at stake. With the 1,000 points awarded to the winner, Sinner will surpass Alcaraz in the world rankings this Monday. The rewards also extend financially. For his victory in the Principality of Monaco, the player from San Candido will take the largest share of a prize pool of over €6 million, €6,128,940. In total, Sinner will earn €974,370, significantly more than his opponent in the final, Alcaraz, who received €532,120. With Roland Garros just around the corner, tournament director Amélie Mauresmo has revealed some of the new features. The main change is the prize pool, which increases by 9.5% to nearly €62 million, the largest in the tournament's history. The clay season has already begun, and Roland Garros has announced several updates for this year's edition, including the prize pool, which has increased by 9.5% to €61,723,000 to be distributed among all participants. This prize pool especially benefits players in the qualifying rounds and early rounds of the tournament. The winner will receive €2,800,000, compared to €2,550,000 last year.